share my screen, and let's get right into it. Okay, so if you could just let me know in the chat box. I'm not seeing the chat right now. All right, yeah, if you are seeing my screen. Is everyone seeing my screen? You should be seeing Money Mindset. Great. All right, so let's just get into it. First, I want to thank you all for joining me for this Money Mindset training. I'm so happy to have you all here. Right. So why did I ask you all to join me? Well, you know, most of you all have probably heard my story already, but I just wanted to share with you all, you know, what has been the main change to my business over the past year or so. And it's a system that I've been using, and it has been so effective that, you know, I had to share with you all what I have learned and what it is that I have done to make this change. So I'd like to welcome everyone so far. I'm seeing Nicole, Green, Lisa Christmas, Rona, Venita, Miniko. Thank you all so much for joining. All right, so let me get right into it. All right, so at the end of this training, which should end on Wednesday, you would have you know, the financial power you want by attracting the money that you need. Now, you know, most of us, we are moms, we have our families, we have responsibility, we have our own business, and all of that, it takes money to live your life. It takes money to live comfortably. It takes money to run your business. So, you know, everyone is at different phases, and everyone has, you know, different goals. And in order to achieve your goals, I think everyone here has, you know, different levels that they have set in terms of how much money it is that you need to effectively run your business and to live a comfortable life. I'm sure everyone has, you know, a figure in their mind which they think, and if you never thought about that, I think you should take a minute and, you know, start to think about, you know, how much money is it that I really need on a monthly basis to live that life that I want to live. And for me, you know, I had a business you know, that started off pretty well. So as we are getting into it, before I start that story, let me introduce myself for those who don't know me, sorry. My name is Kalisha Mills, and I'm a wife. I'm a mom of 4 young kids. My kids are, let me see, there's 4 of them, so sometimes I forget. My son is soon to be 12 at the end of this month. I have a 7-year-old. I told you I forget sometimes. And I have a 5-year-old girl, and the youngest is a 3-year-old little boy that, oh my gosh, just is so much full of energy. All right, so I'm the creator of CenturyMom.com, and I'm also the creator of Successful Mom Entrepreneur Network on Facebook. I know most of you all are there. If you're not, I'll send the link to you. You could always send me an email. All right, I am a business coach for moms. I'm, you know, from my story, I just have such a passion for moms and for all that they do for their families. So I just love to share, you know, what I have learned and where I am in terms of, you know, moving from one place to the next in business, as well as taking care of your families and, you know, taking care of your own self. So that's what I do as well. last year I took on the added task of, fulfilling my dream that I had put aside for 4 years. And I started university, right? I am doing my bachelor's in management studies, and I'm so passionate about entrepreneurship that I'm also minoring in entrepreneurship, because I believe that everything that I do, I always love to educate myself and to put myself in a position where I am able to teach people from a place of experience, and not just book knowledge. I believe that there's a certain level of integrity, and people look to you for the truth, and so I just want to be truthful in everything that I do. So that's why I am starting there. So it's going good so far. I'm really surprised how well I am doing, and I just thank God for that. Okay, so I have 2 ebooks that I have done, and I'm also completing my first full out book that should be completed at the end of August, somewhere around there, that would really help women and really help moms, inspire them and to give them the extra encouragement to move on. So you can look forward to that as well. I'm also a blogger. I privately contracted by other people to write their blogs for them. I hardly work on my own blogs because I'm so busy doing others. But yeah, I do a lot of blogging. And I have speaker. I have speaker with 2 asterisks because I have not gotten my first speaking gig as yet. It's something that, I am working on, and I am just speaking it into existence. That's why you see me have it there. I'm just saying that, that would be added to my portfolio soon. So that's a bit about me. I thank you all for joining me and for taking the time out to listen to me and to what I have to say. All right, so as we move forward, I won't keep you too long tonight because tomorrow night is the big, a more important part where I really get down deep into the steps that I have used. So tonight, what we would cover is, my story and what was my challenge. And we would also cover what was my solution. And we would also take a look at what may be your challenge and see how tomorrow night we can start to solve that challenge. All right, so as we start, I just want to tell you a bit about my story. All right, I have been in the procurement field for since I was like, 19 years old. I started working at National Flour Mills in Trinidad, and was there for some years. And thereafter, I worked at Guayari. Still in the procurement field. Most of the places I've worked are contractors for oil companies. And, I love purchasing. I love buying. I love selling. I love negotiating. That's my first passion. So, I've been in that since my young life. And in 2005 is when I had my first child. My mom then, that same year, 2005, she was diagnosed with renal failure because of diabetes that she contracted through pregnancy some years before. So, we had to start with her on dialysis, and, that whole long hospital drawn out story. And, it was really, really hard. She managed to, keep herself for 2 years, and unfortunately in 2007, she passed away. Now, ironically, 1 month after she passed away, my job I got laid off because their contract had ended. And I was just left in a position, okay, I had lost my mom and now I lost my job. I have my son, and okay, where am I gonna go from there? It's that year that I decided to move to Tobago. That same about 2 days after I came to Tobago, was just supposed to be for a week, and I'm still here. This is 10 years later, I am here. So, I took a leap of faith and just moved. I did not know what it is I was going to do. Now, my now husband, he was then my son's father, that goes sometimes. We decided to, he was still working in a good job. Both of us we actually met while I was working in Guayari in the procurement field. So he's in the procurement field as well. So we decided to start a business. We did not know what business. And then fate again, 2 weeks after, we saw an ad in the newspaper for a franchise. And that is where our journey began. All right. This came about after a few months of, believing and trusting that this is what we were supposed to do. We did not have any money. As I said, we just started. Let me know if you guys are still hearing me. I hope you are hearing me. Yes. So we were the sole franchise holder for Office One Superstore in Tobago. We were so fortunate. I mean, after months of just struggling and waiting for this loan to come through, things just worked out. The bank, we love, we wanted to, this dream was so big and so grand. It was like way out of our zone. I mean, so many things that had to be done, and this bank saw what we wanted to do, and they believed in us. And I mean, it's so crazy. It's like over $500,000 in funding that we got for this thing. Now, if I were to look back, I would never. Now, two things: I may not have taken that big a loan, and the second thing, I would have managed what I spent the money on much better. And when you're in business, you live, you learn, you make mistakes, especially in the beginning. So we paid out a chunk. I mean, let me tell you, it's more than $500,000. It was almost $750,000 that we got. And so much, like 3/4 of that money went to Office One. We had to build a store to there because, we started in a mall setting, and this was, the mall, you have to do everything for yourself. You have to put on the tiles, you have to put in that glass door. We had to do that sign, big, long, crazy sign to the front of the store. We had to pay for the stock. We had to, pay for all the fittings and the fixtures. Oh my gosh, when, the store wasn't even finished, and I was like, wow, look at, how this money is just going and going and going in big chunks. And if I had to do it again, I mean, if I have $750,000 in my hand now, I mean, we should have really gotten our own property, have our own store, and did everything for ourselves without even being a franchise, but something similar, and that was different in Tobago. But as I said, we live and we learn. So things started off with a bang. It started off with a bang. The store was beautiful. Yes, it truly was. We had so many unique things, and I developed such a love for stationery. We had staff. We had everything that you need in a business center. And now this was 2009. So, things went really, really well for the first year. Oh my gosh, it was awesome. Success came like that. It was great. And then, some person from America, they said, well, America is in a recession. And, that same year, everybody in Trinidad and Tobago thought, okay, well, we are in a recession as well, and we need to stop. Now, mind you, all this time, we had walk-in customers, we had credit customers, but our main customer was the Tobago House of Assembly, which is the government, and they racked up so many bills, credit bills with us. And, we started to feel the pinch. People weren't buying as much as they used to. And, people, the government, the different divisions were not paying. They're saying that they came and they took a lot of stuff. Then they're saying that they don't have any money, so we have to wait. We have our bank things to pay. We have loans to pay. We have all these things to pay, and they have thousands, hundreds of thousands of dollars for us. And we are starting to feel it. So just another note, just watch your credit customers. Just watch your credit customers. Okay, so so we started to feel the pinch, and within another year or so, our loan payments started to pile. Now, we remember we were in a mall setting, so this was, it was, I'm telling you the truth. I'm telling this taping, I'm giving you all my business here. Our payment for 1,000 square feet in the mall was $17,000 a month. You understand? So multiply that by 2, by 3 when you are not getting your payments, it starts to add up really, really quickly. So, one of the other things that we did not do was start saving immediately, so that was a challenge as well. So yes, that's so much in rent. You won't believe. Ask West Mall what is their rent per square foot. It's crazy, crazy, crazy. So yeah, so we had to make the decision to close the store. It was so hard, but thank God we were living not too far from the mall, and we had an entire downstairs of our house that we were renting. So we decided to move the store to the house. All right, but moving the store with all its inventory, it still did not. We still had our loans to pay. All right, and we had that big, thing from the mall to pay and all of that. It was crazy. I started to, sometimes success comes, and then when you really look at it and it's going, you start to feel so horrible. You start to think all kinds of things, and where's the money coming from? Especially when you are under so much pressure, it starts to get at you. Then I had my second child. So there's 2 babies, and things were really, really, the bills were starting to pile up. It was piling up. We started to, yeah, well, that's not me, but, it's a great depiction of, what are we going to do? The bills piling up. It was so much stress. It was stress. We managed to, hold out for another 2 years. I had so much things that I did to try and keep us afloat, right? But sometimes, you have to know when enough is enough and when it's time to let go. So I had to make the hard decision to let go, and we had to let go of that business. We had to close it. Now, that brought me into such a dark place, because when success comes and you are on cloud 9 and you start moving back down to earth, you start to feel so many emotions. You feel hurt, you feel sad, you feel dark, you feel lonely. All sorts of things come to your mind. When you have bills to pay, you put yourself in a position, people trusted in you, they put up their collateral for you and all of that, and now you feel like you are failing. You feel like you are so alone. Now, someone else's situation may not be like mine, but in that great magnitude with all of that money. But I you may be in a smaller situation, but still you still feel the pressure. You know, when you can't pay your staff, when you can't, you know, do what you want to do with your family that you used to, you have to start giving up things, you have to start selling your vehicle, all of that. You know, it is really, really hard. It is really, really hard, especially for a mom. Now, let me tell you, all I had babies very quickly. So while this story is going, I'm having babies, okay? So now, by the time I closed the store, I had my third baby, which is the girl. And we had to move from where we were. We moved to a smaller place, all of that. And while I was still trying to keep this business afloat, trying to see, you know, how I can sell off our things and recover some of the money, but it just was not working. And I was feeling so heartbroken, so sad, so worried. I mean, my mind, I could not sleep. You know, headaches and sickness and feeling stressed and all of that. It was real horrible for me. It was a real, see this person in the dark here, that was me. It didn't even, I don't even think it had that little speck of light shining on me, you know. So I was really in a really dark place. And even in the midst of all of that, I had my fourth baby in 2014. Yes, 2014, I had my last son. So I remember, you know, being in the hospital and, you know, creditors calling and like minutes after having my child, you know, I have to answer questions to the bank and all of that. And it was, oh my gosh, I would never, some people say they would, you know, want to go back in their life and change. I would never, ever want to go back. I take those things and I've learned from them. I have forgiven myself. I have, you know, done so many things in which we would speak about, you know, as the days go on. So, you know, so I had to, when it was my birthday that October after having my child, I had him in May. I was so down, I could not even buy an ice cream for myself. We had to move from the smaller place that we were renting. I'm telling you, it was horrible. We moved back in with my mother-in-law. It was one of the worst times of my life. And, you know, I could not do anything on that day. I was so depressed. I felt so like a failure. So, you know, I to my kids, because my kids, you know, through all of that, my kids had to be there with us. And even they are young, they would not understand, but you know, kids are so loving and they do understand, even though we think they don't. So they have been there with us, you know, through all of this. And you know, I just thank God for my kids that, you know, they have not complained too much, but it has affected them in other ways in which we would, you know, come tomorrow when I speak to you all on different things. So, you know, so yes, so that was that, you know, that day when I could not buy an ice cream for my birthday, I said, you know what, this is never, ever happening to me again. This is like the lowest of the low, and this is never happening to me. My birthday next year, I will be in a better position. And I made a decision that day, that night, while tears was in my eyes and just feeling like such a failure. I said, yes, this is the last day. This is never ever happening to me again. And so I made a decision. I made a decision that day that I would pick myself up. I would stop wallowing in my self-pity. I would stop you know, feeling bad about myself and hiding myself in my room all day. I would stop not caring for my kids, not caring for my husband, ignoring everyone, feeling depressed, have this whole weight on my shoulder. I was not letting that happen to me again from that day, And I said, okay, Kalisha, no, I was speaking to myself, I was speaking to my spirit, and I was speaking to God as well. I said, okay, what are we going to do now? Where am I going to go from here? You know, okay, so I said, all right, Kalisha, you have not gone through this for nothing, right? All this heartache, all this pressure, you know, somebody must, you know, benefit from your story, from your struggle. Somebody must be going through the same thing. And because I have learned over the years that, you know, your problem, your situation, your challenge, you are not the only person that is going through that. There are other people who are going through it as well, and they are going through it much worse than you. So you need to pick yourself up. You need to stop thinking that you are so special and this is only happening to you. It is not. It is not. Get a reality check. All right. It is not. There are other people who are going through it as well and who may be in a worse position than you. So find comfort in that and find ways. I have learned that every challenge, every problem has a solution. So there must, when a challenge or a situation was created, an equal solution was created as well. It is there. So you just have to make that decision to move on and to find, do what you can to find that solution. All right. So one of the things that I had to do is to change my thinking. That's the first thing I started to do. I started to change my thinking. And tomorrow we're going to go deeper into what I did to change my thinking. All right. I also changed my friends. Now, there are people who you think would be there for you when you are in trouble. They probably start to block your calls when they see you calling because they said, okay, well, what does she want now? You know, so, you know, you have to find people who are there to support you, even in your low times. It may not always be financial support, but it could be, you know, in a form of encouragement. It could be a word for you. It could be a prayer for you. You have to get friends who would be that for you. All right. You also have to change your environment. Now, changing your environment according to where you are, it can take some time, especially if it is a physical environment that you have to change. I knew that I had to change my physical environment, which was from my mother-in-law's house. I know I had to move from there, right? So for you, you know, it could be a job, it could be your church, your ministry, it could be, you know, a group that you belong to. You need to change that environment and get into an environment that is positive and that would help you grow and not stifle you. All right. And you also have to change your goals. Now, I didn't have any goals then. I was just always thinking about, okay, where I'm finding the money to pay for this and to pay for that. I didn't set goals for myself. So you have to begin to start to look at your goals and start creating goals for yourself. Or else, how else would the universe, how else would God, how else would the world know what it is that you need? How would the world know what Miniko needs, what Lisa needs, what Nicole needs, what Vanita needs, and Rona? How would the world know what you need? Everything that you need, there is a provision for it. And you know, the universe has a way of letting things come to you when you realize who you are and where you belong and what belongs to you. All right. So you need to start, you know, looking at your goals and start creating some goals. I'm going to have some, some info on that for you tomorrow as well. So that is my story. That is what was my challenge, and you know, my solution is what I did. These 4 things I did to start changing my life. Okay, so tomorrow we're gonna go deeper into exactly what it is I did, and I'm gonna show you all how you can do it as well, and you know, start changing your life. So, you know, what is your challenge? What is your challenge? What do you think is so hard right now in your life? What do you think is your problem? What solution are you looking for? If you wish, you can, you know, type it in the chat box, or if you don't want to, you could always send me a personal email. That's my email there. Kalisha.hm@gmail. That's my personal email. You could also send me an email. All right. So Vanita says money management. Yes, money management was my main problem. My main problem was money management. Oh my gosh. I think I had that problem too because not enough money was coming in. So how do you manage such little that's coming in with that great amount of that great amount of bills that you have, now there are some things that we're gonna speak about tomorrow that would help where that is concerned, where money management is concerned. Nico says time management is one of your few challenges, your few problems. Okay. Yes, time management was also a problem of mine. Being a mom with 4 kids, and this whole stress, my time was wrapped up in wallowing. And everything that I did, I didn't put my whole self into it when it came to that time of taking care of my family. So yes, time management can be a problem. All right. So, I just thank you all. I mean, the time is going so fast. I said that I will be on for around 30 minutes tonight. We have a longer night tomorrow. So, I just want to thank you all for tuning in tonight. I hope that, what I have said I hope that it helps you start thinking about what it is you think about and start changing your thinking. Start thinking more positive. Tomorrow, we're going to go deeper into the things that you should do in order to attract that money and to attract a better life for yourself. And we will see tomorrow night. I may have to break it up because Zoom, I think, only allows me about 40 minutes. I may have to break it up into 2 sessions because of the amount of material I want to share with you all. So I hope you all could set aside some time tomorrow night for me to share with you all. I may have to break it up just to get some more time with Zoom with you all. And we gonna talk about the money blueprint that I use tomorrow night. All right, so I just want to thank you all for your time. I hope you enjoyed spending this time with me. As I said, I have so much to share with you all, and it's worth hearing. It's worth tuning in. I'm gonna do, I recorded this. I'm gonna send out the replay for you all, and I hope you all have a great, great, great night. I hope that you start thinking about your goals, start thinking about, what it is that you really want for yourself. In all these coaching programs, they always tell you, what do you want? And, yes, but you start really thinking, because this is the year for you to be successful. This is the year for you to make a change in your life. This is the year. I mean, what better time to start than now? All right. So I'm going to say good night to you all for now. Yes, make change now. I like that, Nicole. Yes, so we shall see tomorrow night. I'm going to send out the links for you all to join in tomorrow night. As I said, I may break it up into 2 because of 2 40-minute sessions, because of the information that I want to share with you all. I'm going to send out the replay for tonight, so you could always go it over. And invite someone who you think is going through a hard time. Let them join in, and let's get this change going. Okay, so I just want to thank you all. As I said, I'm finally signing off. Thank you all so much for joining in. I'm so happy, and we shall see tomorrow night. Okay, and if you have any questions, any last words, you could always send me an email. Most of you know my Facebook page. You could also send me a private message. All right, so I shall see you all. Have a great, great, great night. Bye.